One of my favorite builds of all time is this custom model of the Pro Football Hall of Fame Museum in Canton, Ohio. This is about 10 minutes from my house, so very familiar with it. And a couple years ago, I decided I wanted to make a model of it. I was really happy with how it turned out, but it needs some work, specifically the foundation here. I put it only on a single plate. And what's happened is when I want to move it around, maybe take it somewhere to display, which has happened a couple times, having a really hard time of moving it. So today we're going to apply a Mills type of foundation to this Hall of Fame to make it stronger, easier to move around. And one thing you probably already noticed is used a bunch of gray, but specifically a lot of weathered gray here. There's a reason for that. We build this foundation, it's going to be kind of hidden underneath the build. So that's where I want to use pieces that I'm not going to use anywhere else. So that's really where a lot of old weathered pieces come in handy. So what we've done here is those 16 by 16 green plates there are going to be the top of this Mills plate that we're building for this. But what we do here to ease the construction, we flip them over and just kind of build the bottom of it up. It's much easier to do it this way. So you see we're applying all of those bricks we'd already laid out, and then a layer of plates on top of that. These plates are actually going to be the very bottom, provide the foundation underneath this build. So this is complete. It's looking pretty good. And now we flip it over and you get the full idea. That foundation, again, is hidden, and you're just seeing the green plates that we're going to be able to put the model on top of. Now, one thing before we start moving the model, along the sides here, we build in these Technic bricks. Two reasons. Number one, we might want to connect this to other buildings long term. It's probably going to be standalone, but we'll see. But using these Technic bricks also gives us another option here. So if we get a couple of those little pins, like just showed you, and usually if you have a 2x16 plate, 3 of them work. So you put 3 pins in, and then see what happens is I take that 2x16 plate and just attach it to those pins. So now what we do is we do that all the way around the model, and it creates a nice edge. So we've done the easy part, building this new base. Now for the not so fun part, we got to transfer all of this onto here. And there's really no good way to do it. You have to be as surgical as possible in taking the model apart. Now, I'd built a few of the pieces of it to come off anyway. Others I did not. So again, just trying to keep things as together as possible by taking it off of the old plate first. And then it's just the process of starting to transfer the pieces over. And a lot of these are small pieces, especially, and there's a lot of tiles. Again, kind of frustrating. I did realize a little bit into the build here, I was just transferring the pieces, and then I realized, wait a second, I'm using the same color plates. I can just try and pry up some of those old plates and move them and reuse it. And that helped a little bit. It's still kind of a mind-numbing exercise, especially if you have a lot of tiles put down, and sometimes it's tough to pry them up. And then transferring it, then making sure that you have all the pieces in the right spot again. I've had this together for a couple years, so I hadn't really thought about kind of some of the inner workings of this thing for a while. And so it was kind of like, I had a few difficult times where I had to stop and realize, like, wait a second, how did I build this? Okay, now we got to transfer this over here. So it's sped this up as best I could, but I bet this was close to an hour of transferring the pieces and then kind of taking a look at a few places and like, wait a second, how did I do this? Oh, okay, got it. And then I had to go back and redo a couple things too, because again, I forgotten how I'd built some of the structure underneath on this thing. Eventually, though, I did get all of this moved over. And hopefully, as you're watching this, you can kind of get a better feel, too, for how we built this. This was a very unique build with those kind of different slanted, almost round, but not really round walls around the outside of this. A lot of Technic pieces were involved and a lot of trial and error. This part right here was probably the most tedious of it all. Used a ton of 1x1 tiles to create kind of a cool effect in the main entryway of this thing. Again, it was a lot of, and you could see, and holding my hand there, I did actually build that part originally on a dark gray plate. And I want to use all the green because the dark gray is going to come in handy in the city that I'm building. So that's why we made that change. All right, so the changes are complete. It is on a more robust foundation now. And I like the look too. Now here's the real test. Am I going to be able to pick this thing up easier than I could before? Let's see. Oh yeah. That is so much more stronger than when I just had a single plate underneath this. One more thing while we're into making improvements, I wanted to add some signage out to the outside of this building to identify it. And I thought that turned out pretty well as well. So here it is, Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, in Lego.